Hi, hello. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Do you want to give a little introduction to yourself for anyone who might not know you yet?
My name's Aqsa.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Glasgow, and I create fashion and beauty content primarily.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to Interviewland.
Thank you so much.
Firstly, I want to ask about you working in fashion and beauty. What made you want to pursue that as a career, and was it a conscious decision to become an influencer?
It definitely wasn't like a conscious, like there wasn't a time where I sat down and I was like, I want to do this. So I actually went to uni for a science. I did virology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I kind of just, when I finished school, I just was like, like prom was coming up and like everyone was going to get their makeup done. And I was like, this is kind of expensive and this is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I just learn how to do this myself?
Okay.
So I started like, following all the tutorials on YouTube and stuff like that. And then, makeup, I always say makeup was like my first love.
Yeah.
Like I started with the makeup stuff first and I would just like casually share on Instagram.
Okay.
And then kind of as COVID happened, I don't know how, but I just kind of got more into fashion and experimenting with style more.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I want to share this too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those moments where everyone like just slowed down and had time to think about these things.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that it was sort of partly born out of that anyway.
Yeah.
So you've obviously touched on fashion there. I do want to ask who and what are your main fashion inspirations?
Ooh,
Big question.
That's
so
a
no
huge
pressure.
question. I truly think that when it comes to style and fashion specifically, there is literally not a singular source
Okay.
for inspiration.
Yeah.
I think it truly is anywhere and everywhere.
Mm.
So like, I could see someone on the street and they could be wearing maybe a color combo or like they're wearing something and I'm like, oh, I love that. Like, I kind of want to do a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or even online, if I'm scrolling and like someone's put an outfit together that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe I can get back with myself.
Yeah.
I feel like, then you have the more classic like runways and designers and things like that. But yeah, I think nowadays there really is inspo everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. And I think there's such a range of fashion, especially in Glasgow as well. I feel like you see a lot of different things that people wear and it's very easy to get inspired.
100%.
Going out of the house for like 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And you've obviously mentioned like the traditional stuff as well. I feel like although now there are like a lot of different trends and people hop on things a bit more, I think in a way that's changed how people view style anyway. Because before it was like the runway set the trends and that was it, full stop. But now, like you say, you've got social media which changes things a bit. So yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So obviously I said earlier when we met that you have such cool style and it's very unique, and I was wondering how you found it. Was it like a gradual thing or did you have something in mind?
I think it was definitely gradual.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I look back at some of my outfits and I'm like, come on, that's a mess.
Literally me.
And I think the main I feel like how I dress has a lot to do with feeling.
Okay.
So like I would say like I have a very, how some people have their one aesthetic and like that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like mine changes a lot. So like I'm dictated a lot by the seasons, for example.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, I find myself drawn to like more oversized layers and like winter, and I like dark clothes in winter. And like, I don't know, it's just like how I feel. I don't know how to articulate that.
That makes sense though, and I think it's so important to dress for the weather. Functionality is so important. I think that's one thing that maybe people in Glasgow sometimes don't get. I always see people like dressed in crazy clothes in winter. I'm like, how are you not like absolutely freezing?
Yeah. Me.
But yeah, layers are so important. I think you do layers so well.
Thank you so much. I do love to layer.
Yeah, 100%. And my mum always says that there's no such thing as bad weather. It's just inappropriate clothing.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that, to be fair.
Very fair.
But yeah, I think that makes sense to be influenced by how you're feeling and also about like how the weather is and everything. Yeah, there are a lot of things that go into it as well. I love your bag and accessory collections. Why are those such important elements of your style?
I just feel like they add so much to a look.
Yeah.
And that's just like, again, that's just about how I feel. Because like I look at you and I'm like, you're very minimal accessories, but I think it looks very cool.
Okay, thank you.
Like I do love it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where like, I'm South Asian, for example, and jewelry is a huge part of our culture. And so I feel like growing up, I've always just loved jewelry. Like I just love it. And so for me, it's just one of those things where I'm like, to me, it feels special.
Yeah.
You know, like I put my little rings on and it's like, I see them throughout the day. I know they're there.
Yeah.
And I like how they make me feel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And with the bags, I just love a bag.
Yeah.
I'm very much a functional bag girl. Like,
That's good.
I like my bags. Like, I carry a lot with me.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, I carry a lot with me. And so, like, I need to make sure I have the room and I have the space.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a beverage girly, so I've always got, like, my hands are full.
Yeah.
So I need to just, whoop, and forget about it.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I just feel like I don't even know how to explain it. They're just part of the look. They're part of the vibe. They're part of the outfit.
Yeah. Makes sense. It like elevates it in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a simple thing.
Yes.
Styled
Exactly.
right, yeah.
Exactly. I feel like you can have like the simplest outfit on and just like add a random bag and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it
you know,
changes
like
everything.
something's happening.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so sometimes you mention secondhand fashion pieces, for example, getting things from family members.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you think it's important to advocate for secondhand, sustainable, and ethical fashion.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think I have quite a complex opinion on this.
Yeah.
As someone that exists in a larger body, I do understand and recognize there is a lack of secondhand fashion pieces that are sometimes available
Yeah.
for people that are in bigger bodies. So like,
100%.
I have a sister who's quite petite. And so like, if we walk into a charity shop together, if you can pretty much pick up anything that's going to fit, you know? It doesn't work like that for me, you know, especially with things like bottoms. I feel like tops are stretchy, you can get away with a top. But with things like bottoms and stuff, unfortunately, I've noticed that there's a big decline
That's a shame, yeah.
brands and companies offering bigger sizes. And so a lot of the times, if you want something that is maybe a little bit more stylish, a little bit more fashionable, a lot of larger people do have to kind of turn to fast fashion. And so like in that respect, I understand that and I will never judge someone for doing that. But the thing that I do think is kind of, I don't want to say wrong, but like, I don't know, it kind of raised my eyebrow at it is when you see like people doing like Shein hauls and they have like literally a box that's like this big and they dump it all out and it's just like the same piece in like 5 different colors. And I'm like, well, this is such a basic that you could have like walked into a charity shop and I know it would be there.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I just think as a culture, at least in this country, we are very focused on consuming. You know, it's like, here's my spring haul, here's my summer haul, here's my winter haul. And I'm like, we don't need to be bringing new pieces in that often.
No, you actually don't.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I wear this skirt in all seasons.
Exactly.
I can wear this t-shirt in all seasons. You know, I don't know why we are so drawn to just bringing new things in.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really important when you look at the state of the world and the climate that we kind of reevaluate how we as a society view our consumption.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when it comes to shopping for clothes and items like that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like you mentioned, people doing hauls and they've got all of these items and it's not like a one-off. They'll do it so regularly, you know, they'll do it all the time. And then they'll even like throw the fashion out when, you know, you could be donating that. But yeah, there's such a culture of just buying and then getting rid of it and then buying again. And just, it's honestly astonishing sometimes,
Yep.
some of the stuff you see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's great that you've used your platform in that way to showcase that you can restyle the same outfits and same items in different ways, and you know that still makes it new and exciting. You don't
For
have
sure,
to buy
yep.
a whole new wardrobe every time you have an event or whatever. So yeah, I do 100% agree with you on that one. So you've mentioned as well that beauty and makeup was your first love. Do you have specific beauty influences, or was that just something again that developed over time with watching the YouTube videos and seeing things around you?
I think that's something that definitely developed over time. You know, I remember when I first started out, like very 2016 makeup,
Yeah.
as people call it. That's what was in, and so I used to do a lot of that. But as I've gotten older, I feel like the more I've kind of used makeup, the more I've found like what I like
Yeah.
and what I think looks nice on me and what I'm comfortable in. And I feel like time and like practice is the thing that has really just honed in on like what makes me feel good. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Moving on to your specific content, you take a lot of it in coffee shops and just around the city. I was wondering if you have any favorite spots that you would recommend to viewers.
Oh, I love this question. Okay. Zenor is a favorite of mine.
Okay, I've still not been. I
do love it. Although I'll be honest, sometimes when they're busy, the matcha it kind of gets a bit watery.
Okay, got you.
But they are a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
I do go back there a lot. I love Patricia's, but on Victoria Road.
Yes, I know the one.
But something happened. Something happened, and they've been like shut.
Oh no.
So I don't know what happened, but that was a favorite of mine. And the chai latte they do there is so good. It's my favorite. What else? Oh my god, I have so many.
I thought you would because you're always posting ones, and I'm like, I need to know.
On Victoria Road again, JJ Bakes for pastries.
Okay, I've not been there either.
Have you heard of Lannon in Edinburgh?
I have.
I feel like they're giving Lannon.
Oh, okay. You've called it first.
Yeah.
You'll see there'll be lines out the door now.
There we go. Hopefully, because they deserve it. They're really sweet.
Interesting.
Also in town here, I do like the food and pastry Outlier, which we're close to.
Yeah.
They're really good. I feel like they're my favorites right now.
And the decor in there is so beautiful.
Yes, I love it.
So well done.
I do love it. Yeah, they're my faves right now. Not me going blank.
No, you came up with like
okay
choices.
Yeah, they're my top ones for now.
Yeah.
Watch me like go home and be like, no, I forgot.
No, it's fine. We'll just make a video about it.
Okay.
Do like my favorite spots or whatever.
Okay,
you could do that.
I don't want to forget any that I love.
It's hard to pick favorites though. I feel like we're spoiled for choice.
100%. Yeah. And I feel like I go to different places for different things.
Me too.
So like my favorite coffee place is not necessarily my favorite pastry place or like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm a bit picky.
Yeah.
So like I go do, you know?
Yeah, you might as well. And I feel like especially when we have so many different places, you might as well try as many as you can.
Yeah.
No point in sticking to just one. I mean, I have a bit of a habit of finding one place and be like, I'm just going to keep going here, but I'm trying to like, try new places.
You should. There's so many cool places.
Yeah.
There's a new place open up in town.
Okay.
It's called like the Stramont or something.
How have I not heard about this?
To be fair, I only know about it because my sister walked past it. Like I didn't see it online or anything.
Interesting.
And they are doing like cookies and they're doing really interesting drinks. Like they're doing a Milo maca. I don't know if you know what Milo is. It's like a chocolate powder that
feels so uncultured.
No. You're so fun. You're so fine. It's common in other countries. I don't know. Like I don't want to name a country because I don't want to get it wrong.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, but yeah, it's a really common like chocolatey drink.
Okay.
Yeah, they use in other countries, and it's the first place I've seen here, like doing it as a drink. So like I really want to go there. So that's next on my list.
That sounds good.
So there we go.
That's the thing though. There are always new ones cropping up everywhere, which is good. I love it. I love to see it.
I love it too.
So you've mentioned being a mid-size influencer. How do you feel about being in a space that's not to be that person, but obviously it's predominantly, you know, very skinny, and especially what we're seeing in Hollywood at the moment. I've seen you've touched on it a little bit that you know, things are regressing quite a bit. has that had quite an impact on you? Obviously, you don't need to go too deep.
It's
Just
rough.
whatever you're happy talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, like I am only human.
Yeah.
So like these things do sometimes get to me, especially as someone like I've struggled with my weight my whole life. It's been a huge, I don't want to say problem because like, there's nothing wrong with me.
No.
But like, yeah, it's something that, especially as a kid, like I was bullied for, and I've been a lot bigger than I am now, and I've also been a lot smaller. So I feel like I've experienced like life at all.
You've experienced the whole spectrum.
Yeah, and I definitely, it is sometimes a bit rough when I see online. Just, I don't know. It's like the plus size and mid size representation is truly dwindling.
Yeah.
And I say that a lot, and I feel like it's true. And I think, yeah, I'm never one to comment on people's bodies, but I feel like there is this kind of phenomena happening where everyone is shrinking to the point where it's kind of like, yeah, especially in like Hollywood, like you said. And pointing that out doesn't have to come from a place of like hate or judgment. But I think it's really important to kind of reopen up conversations about how we view the existence of a woman's body.
Yeah.
Because I feel like women especially, we have always been taught that like you must be small.
Yeah.
Small is all that matters, you know? And when it comes to fashion a lot, that's something that I feel like it really ties in, because I feel like women are conditioned to try and squeeze into the smallest size of things. And I'm like, no, like the fun of fashion exists out with those boundaries, you know, like you can wear a blazer that's like 5 sizes too big, or a t-shirt that's huge, you know, like you don't have to, not everything's about being snatched, you know.
exactly.
Sometimes that's the vibe, and we
of
love
course,
that,
yeah.
but like you don't have to be tiny. And I feel like sometimes it is a struggle when I'm scrolling and I'm like, nobody looks like me, nobody, I don't know. I just feel like we were doing so good a few years ago.
I agree. Yeah.
You know? And I don't know what happened. I feel like we kind of just like backed up.
Yeah, we have, definitely.
And I'm a bit like, oh, well, what do we do now? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, what's the next step?
Yeah.
It is quite shocking to see how things have changed. But it's like you said, I think it's so important to be able to talk about it and open up the conversation, especially for young girls.
100%.
Especially, I feel like when we were young, people didn't really talk about it much. And I think with the evolution of social media, people are a lot more open about these things now. And yeah, it's definitely so important to talk about it. And just touching on the fact that you said you will be scrolling and see that there's not really anyone that you look like on the internet. Do you feel that you're providing representation that wasn't around for you when you were growing up then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing I would say is, I just want to like elaborate on what I said.
Okay, yeah.
I think you almost, if you're bigger, you almost have to seek out people that look like you.
Yeah.
Like when I'm scrolling, it's like the first people that I see are like the skinny girlies. And no hate to the skinny girlies, you know, we love all the girlies. But it's like sometimes I'm like, no, I want someone that looks like me.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I just feel like I have to almost search for that. And I'm like, why is it not just there?
It should be.
You know? And yeah, I feel like when am I providing? Yeah, I would say, I would hope that if there's any other brown girls out there that maybe aren't like, you know, the typical, like, in our culture as well, it's very big for people to like judge you based on how you look.
Okay, yeah.
It's something that I experienced a lot growing up, and I still do, to be honest. It used to bother me a lot when I was younger, but I think I've gotten better now at just like accepting that this is me and I'm happy with that. And so I would hope that if there is any brown girls out there kind of maybe struggling with how they look, or you know, whatever it may be, that maybe they find me and that helps them be comfortable with exploring the acceptance of how you look.
Yeah.
And even maybe just like exploring their fashion and makeup preferences.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in my community especially, it can be quite judgmental. And I feel like I'm not that different, if you get me.
Yeah, I get
But like, yeah, in my, like, I always tell people if I have a video that like pops up on TikTok, it's all like the South Asians are hating on me, and I'm just like, we don't have to all be the same.
Yeah.
Like, we can all be different, and that's great.
100%,
And so, yeah, I would hope that if any like South Asian girl is out there, and maybe she wants to do something different but is scared, she sees that like it's slay, just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's such an interesting point you bring up, that it is people essentially from your own culture that are bringing you down at times.
Yeah.
It's such a difficult thing to touch on. Obviously, I can't speak on it because I'm
Yeah.
not within that space, but it's just so important for people to be able to uphold each other. And I think
Yeah, I agree.
we are, especially with social media, we are in a society where people do love to bring people down.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
cancel culture and all of that. It's so prevalent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's so good that you're speaking about these things, and I think you definitely are providing that representation, even
Thank
if
you
you
so
might not
much.
see it yourself 100%. But yeah, I can definitely see that. You've also touched on, obviously, just the cultural aspects of what you do and being a person of colour in the industry. I've noted that you've mentioned a few times on social media about difficulties of being a person of colour in the influencer space. I just wondered if you wanted to talk about that a bit.
I could give a whole speech on this, to
Yeah.
be honest, but it definitely is rough.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my word for everything, but I think it's such a complex one because there's so many aspects that kind of feed into it. Because like, okay, not only am I a person of color, but like I'm mid-size. You know what I mean? So like that's another layer.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of these things kind of intertwine, and they can really affect like how well you do online. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like for women of color especially, it's a lot harder for them to kind of do the bare minimum, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you can see a lot of people that are able to kind of just skyrocket and grow a huge following,
Yeah.
almost whilst not really having to put in any effort, you know? And I feel like there's been studies done on it
Yeah.
where they show that like, the algorithm is racist. You know, like
Yeah.
you can Google it and you can read up on it. But like, yeah, people have found that like the type of person that gets pushed down to all of us is like this skinny white person, you know, and they will always kind of be at the forefront of when you're scrolling. And this is obviously a very like, you know, first world problem, you know, but I think when you look at it, social media is a very huge industry. You know, social media has huge repercussions and like impacts on like life and reality, and I feel like people don't really touch on that either.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's only a growing industry. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's such a difficult aspect of it, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that that's how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the algorithm is so heavily biased. I think that's obvious even just scrolling through social media on your own. You can usually tell yourself, but when you do look into it, yeah, it's the evidence is there. Okay, so the last question that I ask every guest is, what is something that you do or practice on a regular basis to make the world a better place?
I think one thing that I do is just to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's such a simple one on the surface, but I think I always try and approach my life with that in mind. Like, you know, I want to be kind to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I think that does a lot for like how you're feeling in yourself, for your mental health and your well-being and things like that. But I also think when you're out and about, just like when I'm interacting with people, like my first, like, I don't know, the way I behave is always just to be kind to whoever I'm interacting with, you know? And as someone that's worked in retail, I can tell you more people need to be kinder.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I'm always just like, yeah, just like be kinder to everyone and everything, you know, to the planet, to the
Yeah.
trees, to animals you see. Like, I think the world would be such a nicer place if we all just were a bit kinder to one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a simple thing, but it
Simple
makes
one.
the world a world of
Yeah,
difference. Yeah, it's
for
simple.
sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great note to end on because Interviewland obviously inspired by people, nature, and we're out here in this beautiful garden.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you.